You already know what it is. Bakar Nefa, Meshoru Nefa, Guru Nefa, depending on what time of the day it is, you're finally getting round to tuning into the first exclusive reading of the YUSA Guide to Balance Mind, Body and Spirit for the Patreon squad. I hope you've had a very, very good day today, or I hope you're about to have a good day today. The first thing that I have to say is thank you to those who are actually tuned in and actually watching this right about now. That means that you are part of the exclusive Patreon crew, and that means that you're supporting the movement. And for that, I genuinely cannot thank you enough. I don't really want to waste any of your time, because time is important, and you're now getting the time back. Okay. So the first thing that I will say is, if you don't already have a copy of the YUSA Guide to Balance Mind, Body and Spirit, you can either holler at me directly and find out how you can get one if you're in the UK, or you can head to Amazon.com and simply search for the YUSA Guide to Balance and you're going to find it. It is a 5-star rated book. Okay, it has achieved the bestseller status multiple times for various different categories, including holistic healing, naturopathy, the information about chakras, the information about the sacred geometry. But ultimately, go and find out what our readers are saying about the book, because anything you hear from me, anything you hear from Sean is going to be biased. Okay. Now, on top of that as well, because I want to make sure that people, feel enticed and actually want to go out there and read the book. I don't want to read too much. I kind of want to just give it you in stages. So we're not going to be going in any particular order. Each time that I do these videos, obviously I'm going to be doing one a month. But each time that I do one of these videos, I'm not going to be going in any type of order. I'm going to be picking parts from the book which I feel are relevant to what is actually going on across the world, or at least relative to my experience anyway. So I decided to jump pretty much halfway through the book, and I'm going to jump straight into the Infinite Heart section, simply because I think that right about now there's a lot of people trapped in their minds and they need to be thinking with their hearts. Okay, all right then, the Infinite Heart. Spirituality is not a belief system or ideology. It entails surrendering one's ego to the infinite wisdom and knowledge that is the universe. Humanity as a whole is still learning the process of reconnecting with and living back within the heart space. It's been around 13,000 years since the human race left the heart space and went into the brain. This is described as the fall in biblical texts. If you were to go to Joshua 14 verse 2, it'd be described in there. Such a long time has passed that many of us do not even know that there is a different way to exist. Living in this space is literally a moving of the spiritual awareness from the mind back into the heart space. Now, it's not something that you think about and be like, okay, I'm in the heart space, because that is literally using your imagination. Okay, it changed when you actually truly shift awareness deep into your heart and you begin to operate out of compassion. It truly changes your life. Okay, it's not something that you go back on. Okay, and in turn you slowly begin to change the world around you, because I'm sure you've all heard at some point before this, you have the ability to change the world. Okay, even if you positively influence just one person in your life and they go on to positively influence other people, that's a chain reaction that you began. So never forget that. Now, upon shifting your awareness into the heart space, the true way of life and deep nature of existence will begin to unfold, and it will become recognizable again. Almost all of life in existence resides in the heart, not the mind. Okay, and most of the universe is in love with itself. Okay, now the reason for this is because one spirit moves through everything. Okay, now if you take, for example, a tree loves itself enough each day to continue its growth towards the sun. Human beings are the only being on the planet who has a problem at any point loving itself. Okay, but anyway, the initial steps. Okay, oh, we're skipping ahead here. The realization, okay, that of the true nature and potential of life arises in your reality, which is beyond the measure of your imagination. The initial steps in being able to solve all of the planetary problems in the world today are quite simple. You do not have to try to protect yourself by digging a hole in the ground and filling it with guns. It is this very specific thing which many ancient civilizations spoke about. Tuning into a vibration, a very specific frequency that needs to be activated within your own heart. Now, you simply need to be in the heart, okay, not the polarity of the mind, and to feel the connection with the heart of the earth. So when you connect with the heart of the earth, or Gaia, you then begin to understand that the earth is a living being, okay, the mother of humanity. Now the final step is to then connect to the heart of the sun, which is the bringer of all light and all information, or light codes, the frequencies that we tune in and out of. Okay, now this is the construct of the Trinity, okay, the child, the mother, the father, okay, the 3 points of connection, wholeness, and complete balance. Okay, so we have us as the children, we have the earth as the mother, and the sun as the giver, you know, the spark, the force of all life. Now, upon connecting, or sorry, embracing this connection, a very specific vibrational frequency is created within the sacred space of your heart. And when you hold this vibration and this connection to the mother and the father, you can actually never be harmed. You will then always be protected and connected. An energetic shift then takes place in your heart's electrical field as this finely tuned frequency is brought to life. Now this frequency is extremely high, and it stands strong in the emotion of unconditional love. Now this is a state of fearlessness, okay, fearlessness of being in love with self, and fearlessness of being in love with life, the earth and the sun and yourself. And then you realize that your connection to all life everywhere is a real thing. Reality is a function of the human consciousness, okay, and it appears to be holographic in nature. Your heart and emotions play the largest role in the creation of your reality. For humans to transcend properly into the heart, all of the lower vibratory energies and emotions of a lower nature which are stored must be dealt with willingly and accepted so that they can be eradicated in a loving manner. Okay, because love cannot shine through a cloudy heart filled with hate. That's just fact. Now, on the planet, there is war, there's pain, there's disease, there's suffering, starvation, famine, capitalism, racism, sexism. There's all different types of isms if we're deep with it. Okay, there is in fact something much greater going on. Okay, there's the bigger picture, and it is something that is exciting and extraordinary, and it is beyond humanity's current level of comprehension and understanding. There is in fact a great deal of hope, as everything that is going on in the world today has a much higher spiritual purpose, one in which is beautiful, far reaching into the realms of higher consciousness. Now it can take a while to comprehend, but each and every single individual on the planet is actually far more than just a simple person, so to speak. You have in your heart something that is beyond the measure of what anybody knows in this world. It is not just that you are a body with a heart and the heart simply beats, okay, and that you live, okay. One who is connected to the universe in this manner holds more power than 1,000,000 people who are not connected, okay. Everything in which the soul yearns for resides on the opposite side of fear. Okay, so everything that you want, everything that you desire, and your soul requires to elevate is just on the other side of everything that you fear. So you have to smash these fears down and run through these obstacles, otherwise what you need is never going to be achieved. If you feel yourself being gripped by the illusory limitations of fear, greed, jealousy, hate, anger, bitterness, sourness, jealousy, all of these lower vibratory emotions and feelings, just open yourself up to life, okay? On the whole, alongside what it is that you deeply desire, okay? Remember that you are on the right track, And certain setbacks are needed for the purpose of growth, okay? Because all lessons, all mistakes, and all failings are simply lessons if you are prepared to learn from them. So it's all about keeping that adaptive mindset. Now, be mindful of dissociating from all these different types of feelings just as much as over-identifying with them. Neither of them is the truth of you, okay? So whether you're sad or whether you're happy, neither of them are permanent. It's something which you have to ride the wave of life with, okay? Practice the art of diaphragmatic breathing, okay? Deep belly breathing, basically. Babies automatically breathe like this, okay? It's when you breathe either through your nose or through your mouth and you try to aim what you're breathing in straight into your belly. Very, very good for you. Even if you can just do this for 5 to 10 minutes per day, it's very, very good for you. But anyway, practice the art of diaphragmatic belly breathing in order to release any blockages which remain stagnant within your energy field. Keep moving and keep going. Act from and remember that you are pure love. Okay, there is no hurry. There is no hurry with love. Okay, only truth, and the truth will set you free from any illusion. Okay, that binds you to this illusion. This illusion of limitation. Okay, and at any moment you have the choice that either leads you closer to the spirit or further away from it, and that's a Thich Nhat Hanh quote there. What other section from the heart section should I read? Tell you what, let's talk a bit more about shifting into the heart space. Okay, so this section's called Making the Shift into the Heart's Universal Presence. Now, shifting from the head space to the heart space is easier said than done. The main distraction that makes it hard to shift is the incessant thought patterns in one's mind. Worries, challenges, problems, fears, external distractions are constantly in motion for many people, literally sucking the life force and energy out of your mind. And it encourages the need for a mental stimulus, okay, opposed to actually having your own thoughts. Now, all of the distraction thought forms must be put to rest in your mind in order to tap into the unlimited potential of the heart. You must gain discipline and mastery over your mind so that your mind can rest. Okay, stop labeling things. Okay, stop making unnecessary judgments and reducing all negative and fearful thought forms that encourage distortions throughout the heart's electromagnetic field. So ultimately, what we're saying here is all of the different thoughts that come into your mind, stop attaching labels to them as to whether they're good or bad. Okay, let them come in, analyze it, let it go. Okay, because if you find yourself putting good and bad to it, it then sticks to you, and then whenever other situations or scenarios arise which are similar to that, you will automatically, not consciously, but your body will, or your mind will automatically cycle through its library and attach the similar label to it, so you'll respond the same way to it, and it is not constructive for you. Okay, where were we? The mind's limiting language is largely based on words like should and have to type of thoughts. Okay, limiting options will always be primary for as long as your sphere of reality is dominated by the mind. Operating from the mind alone encourages the return of memories, programs, beliefs, and assumptions which are largely based on previous experiences, which is what we were just saying. However, when your awareness is saturated within the heart space, you have made a huge leap towards stillness, the stillness of thought, and now the biorhythm of the heart and the brain are compatible, giving you an extreme sense and level of clarity of your mind, and you will have a different level of alertness. You are now grounded into the now, where the creation takes place, and this is outside of the illusionary construct of your mind. So when you are consciously in your heart, you feel in love with everybody and everything around you. Okay, the feeling that you get when you fall madly in love with a partner is now present with you at all times. Okay, Everything you give out, you attract back into your life, and everything in your life is wonderful. You are in alignment with all that is universal love. Every frequency you give from the heart has a harmonious rhythm carrying high vibrational emotions. Okay, you then attract others into your sphere of reality, those who are also connected to the heart and also who live within this wonderful, prosperous life, whose levels of fear are completely and totally absent. You tune into the universal stream of abundance, back into your natural state of being. Because naturally, as human beings, we were born into abundance. Unfortunately, the way that the physical system has been manipulated to benefit just a minute and tiny amount of people is something which we're now, as the woke crew, working on. Now, those who reside mainly in the headspace tend to be caught up in drama, okay, to do things they feel they should, even though they know deep down they shouldn't or do not want to, okay. It's not much fun, okay. A way of settling into the heart space is to train and focus your thoughts towards the things that you love. Base decisions from your heart intelligence by asking yourself, what is best for me? Okay, and choosing the option that makes you feel the most amazing. People who usually ask me for like a piece of advice is, I always say this very, very simply. Do not do things that you have to talk yourself into. If you have to talk yourself into doing something, it's something that you clearly are not feeling doing. Does that make sense? It should do, because it was extremely basic and I'm not trying to be patronizing. The presence experienced from meditation, conscious breathing, and eating natural plant-based foods and reconnecting with nature are the most beneficial if you want to become harmonious within your heart center. The biorhythms of nature are very soothing and healing. The flow through the essence of your very being, aligning you with the earth's own eternal rhythm. Okay, as you work on the biggest project of your life, which is you, your awareness starts to detach from the realm of thought and into the body. Your life starts to become what you were always loved. Your life starts to become what you always loved and desired. Confidence and self-worth grows, and you will not easily be derailed from overpowering goodness that now flows through you. This is not to say that you will never face difficulty again in life, okay? But you'll understand on a deeper level that those difficult to manage challenging periods will pass and will make you stronger, happier, and they will also make you more resilient and more ready to accept what it is that you're on the path to receive. Now remember that you will always be the center of your life. You will always be the creator of your life, okay? And you will determine how your experience plays out, okay? And this is a saying that expresses this perfectly. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become character. Watch your character, because it becomes your destiny. Okay, and the last section that we're going to just touch on to real quick is self-love and acceptance, and forgiveness, because John knows there is a lot of people out there in the world who need a little bit of self-love to deal with some acceptance, and they need some forgiveness. So another major factor contributing to humanity's distant heart connection is that of self-love, acceptance, and forgiveness. Despite all of the things that you think are wrong with you, love yourself for who you are and what you've achieved so far in life. Remember that many thought patterns and belief systems ultimately are not real. Simple. We're very good at telling ourselves that we're not something. Why don't we just start telling ourselves that we're good at stuff? Remember, as I said, a lot of these thought patterns that we continually tell ourselves are not real. There are thousands of other beliefs and thought patterns which we could choose to label ourselves with, but a lot of us choose the negative ones. Now, this is the beauty of the heart space and all of the false identification. Sorry, when you shift into the heart space, this is the beauty of it, because all of these false identifications and self-slandering sessions cease. They stop happening. Okay. Now, you cannot truly love another person with a deep compassion if you fail to love yourself and accept who you are completely at the deepest level. Okay, social conditioning contributes to the illusionary layers that cover the true self. Think of it this way: your true heart, your true self, is a rock on a beach. Every time a large wave flows onto the beach, the stone is left with multiple layers of sand on top, which is not part of the rock itself. But remember, the rock is there forever. It's constant and it remains intact beneath. Okay, so no matter what you tell yourself that you are, that doesn't always necessarily mean that's what you are. It's the same as when other people have things to say about you. Just because they're saying it doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. Now, this metaphor that we were just talking about the rock and the sand and the beach, can be related to the external programming of the heart and the mind in the way in which your true self can be covered, and that you are then left with illusionary idealisms about yourself. For example, the television will run rampant in your mind and implant illusions on what pretty woman or a healthy man is supposed to look like and how somebody is supposed to act. Over time, these programs can have a deep subconscious impact, making you hate yourself for no reason whatsoever. Remember, there is absolutely nobody better than you. I'm going to sit here right now and tell you, although I'm no better than anybody else, okay, there's nobody better than me. There's nobody better than you either. Once you start to acknowledge the deep-rooted belief system, okay, then it's time to work on them. Okay, it's time to bring them to the surface. Start to write down things that your mind has. Start to write down things so that your mind has more space to work on different types of solutions. Okay, create a comparison table of all of the different pros and cons about yourself. Okay, make small constructive steps for self-betterment. Okay, what can you forgive yourself for today? I think that's a question which a lot of people should probably just pause this video and ask themselves right now. What can you forgive yourself for today? Okay, because holding a grudge against yourself is a silly thing to do. Okay, again, it's like constantly holding a piece of hot coal or in your hand. Okay, it's going to be burning yourself unless you let go. Okay, unless you make that decision to literally let it go, it's going to keep burning your hand. Now, whatever it is that you're holding on to, okay, you should always practice affirmations every single day. For example, I forgive myself. Okay, yeah, you know, I forgive myself. You know, I am smart, I am intelligent, I am great, I am beautiful, I am universal love. All of these different things you have to program into your mind. Okay, so you can tell yourself you know, affirmations. Okay, you can say, you know, I can forgive myself for not being perfect, because, you know, if you hold in your own mind that you are perfect, then better believe that you're heading towards a very slippery downhill slope that nobody can save you from, because you have to accept that nobody is perfect. You have to accept that you are perfect in your imperfectness. That is the only compromise that I will make with that one. When you are depressed and hold self-hate, you are still living in the past, okay, not the present. You are not present because the old, deeply rooted stories in the subconscious still come up to haunt you and take away your attention from the present. This is the deception of the mind. You can see the pattern of how the mind takes your attention away from the true self. Okay, this is the test of life. Okay, earlier on in the book, we actually cover on some different kind of methods of identifying these negative thought processes and these negative thought patterns, and how to actually weed them out of the conscious or subconscious mind. So it's probably something which we'll touch on in one of these videos in the future. Drop your victim mentality. Very serious one too. Drop your victim mentality and stop labeling, judging past situations. The only thing that is important is what you choose to do right now. Everybody is doing their best in life in accordance to their level of consciousness. Okay, try not to become attached to externals. The heart does not need anything else. It receives naturally. Okay, forgiveness is a karmic closure to yourself and to others. Try not to confuse attachment for love. Okay, now before I close out, I want to hit you with a quote from a woman called Yasmin Mogherhead. Okay, she said, attachment is about fear and dependency and has nothing to do with love. Of love than love of another. Love without attachment is the purest love because it isn't about what others can give, it's because what you are empty. It is about what you can give to others because you are already full. Thank you for joining me. Remember, you can get a copy of the YUSA Guide to Balance in digital or print on Amazon.com, or you can contact me directly. Hit me up in the DMs. Hit me up. Peace, peace, and more power. Uncle Justin Neb, Shem Hotep, myself, Omega Axel, signing out. Peace, peace.